What's going on, guys? I'm back to do another fight prediction for the upcoming fight between Mickey Gall and Ramiz Brahimaj. Gonna go with Mickey Gall in this one. Pretty close matchup, not gonna lie. I think these guys are evenly matched. I just think Mickey Gall, I think he's just got the better resume in MMA. He's been fighting much higher competition in the UFC with much better results. Been in the UFC for about 6 years now, just fighting the much better guys than Brahimaj has been. Brahimaj he's a very good grappler. I think he's got 10 submission wins. Shoots good takedowns, very strong, short, compact, doesn't have much of a striking game. Throws a hard 1-2, doesn't throw any kicks. I don't really see him being much of a threat on the feet other than landing maybe a lucky overhand right on Mickey Gall. Like I said, great jiu-jitsu. Not great. Jiu-jitsu is his primary strength, but he's choking out a bunch of cans outside the UFC. Only shown any real success in the UFC choking out guys that are kind of one-and-dones. Hasn't had a lot of really anything going on in the UFC so far. Every time he gets a win, steps up in competition, he fights a Court McGee, a Max Griffin, Thimba Garimbo. Anytime he takes any kind of step up in competition, he gets kind of fraud checked. So Court McGee was getting dropped, dominated in the grappling, kind of just beat up everywhere, which is hard to see against somebody like Court McGee, who at this stage in his career is kind of a gatekeeper. Max Griffin couldn't get the takedowns, getting beat up on the feet, got his ear damn near cut off in that third round. It was pretty disgusting. It was kind of just falling off, hanging there, got TKO'd. And then Thimba Garimbo, who very similar frame to Mickey Gall, was able to just kind of control the underhooks, out-pummel him against the cage, make it a very, very boring fight, honestly. Just kind of held him up against the cage, controlled the grappling, controlled the pace of the fight, kind of dominated everything, bell to bell. So kept looking for inside trips against Thimba. Thimba would just kind of turn in, land on top, control the position. Sometimes he'd get back to the cage. Like I said, he'd just get out pummeled. Dropped by Court McGee in their fight in the first round. Just getting controlled against the cage, accepting punishment, takedowns getting stuffed. If he isn't getting takedowns, he's not winning fights. And I don't think he's going to get takedowns against a lot of these guys that are in the UFC. I don't think that he might get takedowns against Gall, but I think Gall's got good enough jiu-jitsu to stay safe and get back up to his feet. I don't think he's going to submit Mickey Gall. I don't think he'll hurt Mickey Gall on the feet. Mickey Gall does get hit a lot, but I think he did show much better striking in his last fight against Basel Hafez. Prior to that fight, heading into I think it was the Morono, the Malott fights, he just doesn't have the best stand-up. He's kind of flat-footed, doesn't move very well, kind of keeps his head on the center line, chin's in the air as he's coming in throwing strikes. So I'm watching those fights thinking, this doesn't look very promising against somebody like Brahimaj, who's going to be throwing big shots, trying to come in and get the takedowns. But dropped by a jab by Morono. He's a high-level black belt. He just never really uses it, is what I come to find out. I think he used it early in his career, but nowadays he primarily just likes to stand up and bang, which really wasn't working well for him in his career. But recently he did come in against Basel Hafez and was getting rocked on the feet, taking big shots first round, second round, but he looked much better in the stand-up realm. He was landing his own shots. I feel like some of those shots that he was landed would put out a lot of other fighters. But he was also taking big shots from Basel Hafez that I feel like would put out a lot of fighters. So I was concerned about his chin coming off that face plant loss to Malott, but the fact that he was eating shots from Hafez, throwing them back, kind of makes me have a little bit more confidence in his stand-up, taking those 2 years off and working on that. So I like to see that he's able to eat those shots from Hafez. I think that Hafez definitely hits harder than what Brahimaj is going to hit him with. And I just think you gotta put out Mickey Gall, like we saw in that Malott fight. But if you don't, he's going to keep coming, especially in his recent fights. He's not a quitter. I just think I think he's going to win the exchanges on the feet. I think he's lankier. He's got a 4-inch height and a 1-inch reach advantage against Brahimaj. I think I think he's the grittier guy. I think he's going to land the better punches on the feet. I think he's going to be able to keep the fight standing. I think if he wants, he can take the game plan of I think it was McGee and Thimba Garimbo, where they just kind of out-controlled Brahimaj against the cage. I know when he gets top position, he gets people on the ground, people that aren't that high level in jiu-jitsu, he's able to finish them pretty easily, but I don't think he's going to do that to Gall. And with Gall's experience in the cage and his jiu-jitsu background, his improved striking, I think he's going to be able to control those stand-up engagements, stay off the fence, stay off the ground. And I think he's going to piece up Brahimaj on the feet. As weird as that sounds to have Mickey Gall is going to piece somebody up, but I'm going to go with Mickey Gall. TKO, maybe he hurts him, finishes him with a sub, but more than likely a submission win. So I like Mickey Gall in this one. Don't think he's going to make a run by any means now in his career, but I do think that he's made good enough improvements in his striking to beat somebody like Brahimaj, who just really hasn't shown anything in his career in the UFC yet. So I'm going to go with Mickey Gall. So appreciate it, guys. Like and subscribe. And I'll keep these videos coming for the rest of the week. I'm going to make one for every fight for UFC 309. So thanks, guys.